I didn't know that. Sorry about that. Let's do a mic check now. I just unplugged it. What do we got? Are we good now? Let's see. We're good. So guys, did I do the whole intro without any noise? Let me know. That's hilarious. Let me know in the chat if I did the entire introduction without any audio. No way, Dominic's like we did the entire intro without any noise. Well, that's hilarious. That's definitely very Monday-esque. That's so funny. It's actually not, but I have to go back and watch how that sounded. I was probably just harassing you guys with a bunch of static. That's so funny. Well, anyway, in conclusion, I guess, just kick off the stream. Maybe we'll do another intro. Well, welcome everybody back to Walks on Wall Street. I appreciate you guys. Little bit of technical difficulties at the start, but essentially what we were talking about is just this is the start of tech earnings season, right? We went through all of the financial earnings that happened last week. We did deep dives there, and now this week is going to be a pretty different ball game, right? It's going to be all of the major tech companies. I should say the vast majority of them. We're going to have Amazon, Meta. Hold on, let's cross here by Baruch College. Awesome view of the Chrysler building ahead. Hey, DJ Chris, appreciate it. I know, Terry Wells is too funny. Anyway, good to see everybody. So we just brought a new listing live. The building is 5 Franklin Place. It's an amazing building. We just went live with it today. So 5 Franklin Place, apartment 8A. If you want to see some photos of what it looks like, it's a stunning apartment. If you type !5, so the letter 5, or the number 5, letter 5. If you type !5 in the chat, you'll be able to check out the link to the listing. We just listed it this morning. It's an unbelievable property. 3 bedrooms, 3.5 bathrooms. The building is a full service building. You have a swimming pool, you have a gym, you have a children's playroom, and you even have your own dedicated parking garage if you so choose. You can buy your own parking space, and the garage is really, really cool. Very, very neat, the layout there. So again, if you type and then 5 in the chat, check out the listing. Let me know what you think of some of the photos. It's a really, really cool building. We are now standing on the corner of Lexington Avenue and East 23rd Street. And right across the street, you will see Gramercy North. 139 East 23rd Street. This is another one of our buildings. We're about 70% sold out. We just closed last week on Unit 7, which was a very tough deal, but we got it done. We have Unit 2 available, we have Unit 12 available, and then we have Unit 14 available, and then it is gone. If you want to see some all-inclusive video, walking tour of that unit, you can type !23 in the chat, and it'll drop the link to the sort of property tour for Unit 2. But it's very convenient. It's right on the campus of Baruch College. But for tonight's stream, we're gonna head down to Soho. So we're gonna go all the way over to Broadway and then head down. I see Gary Carpenter, B. Cruz, what's up? Greg is here, John. I did not see any F-18s over Midtown Manhattan today. I would like to see some video of that though. Hey, Pops Productions, good to see you. Looking forward to your arrival in December. All right, let's cross and we'll make up for some lost time. I think that might have been the second microphone that is blown out on us in the last month. Hey, Juan Fernandez, what's up? Dominic Romano, good to see you. Oh, so that building that we just passed, it's an add-on to an existing condominium building. And in the basement, you have the Friends experience. I'm not a big Friends fan. I'm not sure if we have any viewers in the chat that are big fans of that show. But there's like a whole store dedicated to that television show. But those are condos. Those are really nice. One of my teammates has a listing in that building. It's really nice. Swimming pool, tons of amenities. Really, really nice. Hey, Tom M is here from Youngstown, Ohio. What's up? Thanks for joining us. Now, I was saying at the beginning, the very beginning of the stream, when my audio is out, this is Park Avenue. So we're crossing over Park. We're gonna head towards the center of Manhattan, but we always walk down Central Park South, and we always pass the Ritz-Carlton. Now, the Ritz-Carlton is set up in a way where you could actually purchase units. It's called the Ritz-Carlton Residences. It is 50 Central Park South. And one of the brokers who we do a lot of business with, Noble Black, had an amazing listing there. And just an incredible, incredible listing. If you want to check it out, it's 50 Central Park South, Unit 24B, and it just sold, which is really cool. I remember a few months ago, I went to the broker's open house there, and the place was really jaw-dropping. And he was saying that the current owner at the time was using the place as a pied-à-terre. But it's I believe it's 4 bedrooms. I mean, the place was absolutely massive. And the current owner, well, not anymore, the seller, was only there like a month out of the year. And I believe it just sold for $14,900,000. I mean, incredible, incredible property. And it sold really, really fast. Dominic says, is the Four Seasons back open yet? Well, according to a lot of the chatters, you guys were looking up some articles on The Real Deal, and apparently the Four Seasons Hotel that's located on 57th Street, right on the corner of Park, it's closed due to some dispute, but apparently it's going to be opening back up in Q1 of 2024, which is really good news because that building is amazing, and it's kind of crazy how it's just sitting completely vacant. It's been vacant since the pandemic, since the coronavirus. It's been totally empty. Now, here we are, Madison Avenue, East 23rd Street, Madison Square Park. We're looking directly at the Empire State Building, and then over to the right, you see a pretty nice view of One Vanderbilt. Hey, Plains and Palm Trees, what's up? TK Porsche says, was it a Russian oligarch? It was not. Let me turn on Do Not Disturb. I always forget to turn on the Do Not Disturb mode here. Hey, Juan Fernandez, is Tom posted online today in Miami, city with the most vacancies despite high needs. Well, there's a lot of second and third home purchases there. There's a lot of snowbirds, right? Particularly New Yorkers. Now, this is, I think, getting into peak season down there in South Florida, right? But usually once the holidays work its way through, that's when it gets really, really busy down there. So come January 1, I mean, if you can imagine the traffic, how crazy the Miami traffic is, even during the summer and into the fall, the traffic is insane during the winter. It's crazy. It almost seems as if like the population doubles down there. Now, I know that's obviously not correct. It doesn't double, but it seems like it. It's wild. Oh, Gary Carpenter says we can't hear you. Is the audio not working again? Hold on, let me see if I can go into my settings. Lady Tina says Miami's too crazy. A lot moved there during the pandemic, especially from New York City. Well, I guess it just oh, so we are working, okay. All right. Gary Carpenter, we need you to settle down a little bit. All right, this is the Flatiron Building, and let's start to head downtown. We'll check out Soho and 5 Franklin Place. But you know, a lot of people think that, right? They have the sort of narrative in their mind that Miami is, they sort of equate Miami, Florida to South Beach, right? All of the crazy spring breakers, all that wild stuff. But that's just a very, very teeny fraction of Miami. You know, the neighborhood that I live in is extremely quiet. Extremely quiet. So just like New York, right? A lot of non-New Yorkers, if you're a New Yorker and you've ever traveled the country and you tell people you're from New York, they automatically assume New York City. They're like, oh, do you live close to Times Square? It's like, no. I think it's kind of the same stereotype with Miami a little bit, at least in my opinion. Everybody thinks that Miami is just all party, very loud and noisy, but there's neighborhoods that are really quiet. And there's very low foot traffic in the majority of the neighborhoods, particularly as you go north of, I would say, North Beach. So you have South Beach, Mid Beach, and North Beach. So once you cross 72nd Street and Collins Avenue and you head north into Surfside, Bal Harbor, Sunny Isles Beach, and then all the way up to Fort Lauderdale, it's actually really quiet. It's really nice. Particularly North Miami Beach, really quiet neighborhoods. Hey, Evan Weeks, what's up? Yeah, Miami equals Scarface in my brain. I know. Well, they have that plaque outside of the CVS. I think I've shown you guys that before. They have the famous, sort of like a monument plaque right on Ocean Drive there. That's where they shot that scene of Scarface. Hey, Dominic says, I'm moving the family to Bonita Springs, Florida this week. We will have our residence the first of the year. Wow. Well, congratulations on that. That's awesome. Dominic, remind me, where are you making the move from again? Are you New York or New Jersey? I forget. Apologize, but that's an awesome, congratulations on your move. That'll be a great way to start the year. Hey, Tom M is here. Says, hey, why did you leave tech sales for real estate? Better ops, question mark? Well, I had a really good, it's a very good question. Well, let me just cross here. It's a great question. Long story short, yes, better opportunities. And I did really well in tech sales. The company that I was at when I left, I was a director. So I was a director of enterprise sales for the Northeast. But the way the company was set up is everybody had a partnership in the business, right? Hyperion Partners. I'm not sure if you heard of the company, but and I ran the Northeast. So it was essentially, you're responsible for your book in the Northeast. I did really, really well there. Ever since I was 21-ish, I was in tech sales, did very well. Never really spent my money frivolously, so I accumulated a lot of capital and made a lot of really good connections, particularly as you get up to the enterprise level. Because if you're selling enterprise, telecom, or software, chances are you're dealing with, CFOs, CEOs of, big publicly traded companies and hospitals, things like that. And that allowed me to grow my book of business and save up a lot of capital. And obviously everything that we've been talking about on the live stream, I think this is a major, major turning point in a business cycle. And as I want to grow a real estate portfolio in South Florida, add to the current one I have, and maybe even develop some property here in New York City and Miami, I think this is a really great time to get involved in the business, mainly because it's going to be very, very difficult for a long time. And I think it's going to wash a lot of people out of the business. You've had a decade now, a little over a decade of artificially suppressed interest rates, pretty much free money. And I think a lot of brokers had it very easy. I think a lot of developers had it very easy. I think a lot of private equity shops that are involved in multi had it very, very easy. And I think a lot of these deals may go back to the banks. And if you're positioned really well, I think you'll do really well in this cycle. So I got a really good opportunity to join one of the best sales teams in not only in New York City, literally in the entire country. And I think it was a good fit for me because not only do they sell at the higher end of the luxury market in Manhattan, but the particular team leader's husband is also a very notable real estate developer, right? So I could learn the business from the sales side, from the best to do it in the business, right? How to deal with those high net worth, ultra high net worth clients from the sales side, and then also learn how to structure deals from the real estate private equity side, working that angle. So yeah, I mean, I know that was a long-winded answer, but that's what I'm looking to do. I'm looking to learn more skills, accumulate more skills. I've spent probably, I mean, it's crazy, almost 10 years in tech sales. And I want to accumulate and acquire more skills in other areas. So we'll see. Who knows? Maybe I'll fail at it. But what's the worst that could happen? I just go back and get another job. Hey, Jules is here. What's up? This is Hey Thomas. Great to see you live. Thank you so much for joining us on this very chilly night in Manhattan. Clear sky too, not a cloud in the sky. And the wind died down, thank God. Hey, Joseph Hardaway is here. What's up? Just hope you're having a good start to the week. I am. Thank you so much. Hey, Justin S. With New York City being such a large city, do you notice the tourist season there like in Miami? Well, I definitely notice more tourists around major events. For sure, I do. And you guys are probably going to see it as we move our way into the holidays, particularly Thanksgiving and Christmas. As we walk around Fifth Avenue, probably from 34th, I would say, all the way to 50th Street, it is really, really jammed. And that's because you have all the holiday displays, you have Rockefeller Center, you know, the holiday Christmas tree there. So it's gonna be really, really packed, and you'll see that. The NYPD actually extends Fifth Avenue a little bit right outside, what's it called? Saks Fifth Avenue. They actually extend the sidewalk just so people can watch the holiday display. So I definitely do notice a lot more tourists around Thanksgiving, Christmas, and then I would say you get a big push in the summer just because it's really, really nice. Where the city is dead, in my view, is February. Because, I mean, who wants to visit New York City in February, right? I mean, if I was from another country and if I was planning a trip or a vacation to New York City, February wouldn't be my number one choice. Because you can't really walk around. You can't really enjoy the city because it's going to be so bitterly cold and windy. I'd much rather walk around during the summer, right, where there's so many things going on. Or I'd rather walk around in November and December. Because, I mean, think about over the last 2 years, with the exception of last year. I think 2 years ago it was 60 degrees on Christmas Day. Now, last year is a horrible example, like a really, really horrible example, because I think it was negative like 2 degrees on Christmas Day. We had this crazy cold front come in and it was frigid cold, so. John says you can't do the summer, no way, too hot in the summer. No. The summer is the best time in New York City. If you think the summer in New York City is too hot, then you pretty much can't live in New York. Unless you love the frigid, cold winters. Michelle K, good to see you. B cruise to spring would definitely be my choice. Yeah, spring is nice, but sometimes in the spring we could also have really terrible weather in New York City. I know 30s is, it's kind of sad we never really get snow on Christmas anymore. I don't remember the last time New York City had a white Christmas. Last year it was just cold for no reason, as I like to explain it. It was just absolutely freezing. Many of you were like, it's the humidity in New York. I mean, I like it humid. I don't like it dry. When it's dry, you feel all dried out. And I mean, when I'm down in Miami, it's just the best. I love it hot. I love it humid. The more humid, the better. And I know a lot of you chatters are cringing at that. I guess everybody's different. I really like the humidity. It just makes me feel more alive. It makes me feel more awake. All right, so we are now approaching the campus of New York University. It's quite quiet tonight. It's actually a nice change. Last night, it seems like it was unbelievably loud in Midtown Manhattan. It's nice that we're here. Kathy says, love the summer. I do too. I'm a summer guy. I wish, you know what I say, and let me know what you guys think. This is, I've always said this. If you think New York City, right, and I'm talking about real estate, if you think New York City real estate is expensive right now, I have a thesis. If it was 75 degrees or like 75, 80 degrees all year round in Manhattan, I think the prices would be like a third higher than they are today. Because think about it, then there would be no real reason to snowbird in Miami. This place would be like a utopia. It would be, I mean, you couldn't even afford to live here. People can't afford to live here now. But imagine if it was tropical climate all year round. I think the prices would be even crazier. Who disagrees with that? Brad says summer heat all day, love it. Well, you're in Houston now, so H-Town, well, Houston gets cold from time to time, I think. Hey, Tom from Midtown is here. Hey, Tom. Says there's a saying that the winter is what keeps the whole planet from living in New York City. That's a good saying. I didn't know that. Well, I agree with that wholeheartedly. Or, okay, maybe not 80 degrees, but let's put San Francisco weather, like kind of the fall jacket, you know, 70 degrees, maybe like 66, 70 degrees. Oh yeah, Crypto Meme says it would be another Los Angeles. Hey sir, says what's up man, I'm back from yesterday. Thanks for joining us. We're gonna go to Soho tonight. We haven't been there in a long time. It's been quite some time since we've been there. We're gonna check out one of my newest listings. So we just brought to market 5 Franklin Place. It's such a unique building and I'm really excited to show it to you guys. Obviously we can't go in there, but I'm gonna show you the facade of the building. I think you'll find it quite charming. It's one of my favorite buildings in Tribeca. If you wanna see the listing, just type exclamation point and then the number 5. So exclamation point and then the number 5 in the chat, and the Nightbot will drop the listing to Street Easy. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. So it's 3 bedrooms, 3.5 bathrooms. It's just under 2,000 square feet. The place is totally spit polished, brand new. All of the bathrooms are fully encased in marble. But my favorite thing about the listing is not necessarily the unit itself, it's all the amenities. I mean, it has a pool on the roof. So imagine using that pool in the summer and in the spring, it's really unbelievable. It has a gym in the building and it also has a children's playroom. But to top it off, it's one of the only new buildings in Tribeca, I should say newer buildings in Tribeca, that has on-premise parking. So it has a parking garage inside the building and it's on a private street. So not to be confused with Franklin Street, this is Franklin Place, which is just off of Franklin Street, and it's a private street. So there's gonna be no through traffic, totally private to you. It's a really cool building. So let me know what you think. And I think we've priced it aggressively. You'll see some of the other listings that are on the market in the same building. We're on the 8th floor, so we just cleared the building height. And I think we're priced to sell. I think we're gonna go pretty quick here. Hey, Jeff W277 says no one would go to New York City for Thanksgiving, New Year's Eve if it was just like Miami. People who go to New York City Christmas, New Year's Eve don't want it warm. People remember Dick Clark outside in 20 degrees on New Year's Eve, not 80 degrees. Maybe you're right. That's a good point. Maybe you're right. But here's my, I guess, counter to that. Do you think I think the selling point isn't necessarily the temperatures. I think it's just the surroundings and the ambiance of New York City, right? Times Square for New Year's. Ooh, yeah, some dogs really don't like the skateboards. Anybody here have a dog that just cannot stand the sound of skateboards? I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just like the decibel of the wheels grinding on the street that they don't like. I don't know. I never understood that. Anyway, I don't know. I think people come to New York for the atmosphere, the buildings, the people, the high intensity lifestyle. But maybe you're right. Hey, Zma says, I am from Pakistan. Welcome to all of our viewers from Pakistan. Thanks for joining us. Hopefully you're having an amazing night. And welcome to New York City from Pakistan. Very cool. That's kind of mind-blowing, isn't it? It really blows my mind. You know, at the beginning of the stream when we did our introduction that you guys couldn't hear because my microphone was broken, I was talking about Meta. I was talking about Mark Zuckerberg and Meta, particularly with his Quest headset. And one of the interesting things about that is, you know, he's pushing really hard on, you know, all of this metaverse stuff to interconnect the world. But, you know, you could have a stream like this that will, you know, project globally, which is pretty insane. Someone says I moved to New York City 10 months so far. You really like it? That's awesome. Yeah, I think my favorite thing about New York is the people. You know, very respectful, very mature, and just really amazing people. I think that's the best thing. RPT says, any earnings talk yet tonight? Well, I think the vast majority of the earnings are going to be a little bit later in the week, particularly Tuesday and Thursday. I don't know. Out of all the major tech companies, we have about 18% of the market capitalization in the S&P 500 reporting this week. And that's pretty significant, don't you think? If you have 18% of the S&P 500 reporting, that's pretty significant. So we could definitely see some volatility, for sure. Yeah, Tom from Midtown says the best thing about New York is the people. The worst thing about it is the people. I definitely agree with that. Well, this is Washington Square Park, one of my favorite parks in all of New York. Oh yeah, DJ Review Another 2 says, what happened to the cage match? I remember that. Elon Musk and Zuckerberg were getting into it over Twitter, now called X. We haven't been to Washington Square Park in a little bit, so let's actually cut through the park. It's beautiful here. This is one of my favorite parks. There's always things going on. I used to be one of these skateboarders, by the way, right here. I used to spend a ton of time. I used to be here till like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning during college, skateboarding in this park. Brings back good memories. Someone says, is it filled with homeless? You know, it used to, right? I'm just gonna be very blunt. It used to be, particularly on the northern, northwest side of the park. It used to be really horrible. A lot of drugs, a lot of derelicts. But, as you can see here, New York City has increased the police presence a great deal, and they've totally cleaned up Washington Square Park. So now there's no problems, right? And I say that very honestly. I'm the first one that'll tell you if there's a big problem. They've really cleaned it up. They've done a really good job. I mean, check it out. I mean, do a compare and contrast of when we used to walk this park maybe about a year ago. There used to be things all over the ground. There used to be, you know, garbage, trash everywhere, homeless everywhere. I think they did a really good job with cleaning it up. I think the NYPD did a really good job. You have the Trade Center in the distance here. And you have the very famous fountain. Someone says, hey Tom, Musk offered Wikipedia $1 billion to change the name. I wouldn't. I think that's... I didn't know that, actually. Hey, Lupe, what's up? Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. I know Brad says, I miss the skateboard, Tom. We need a retro walk someday. I miss it too. It's just these drivers in the city are reckless. And I've seen some crazy stuff. During the day, I've seen a lot of accidents with pedestrians. And I just don't want to risk it. A couple years ago, I used to be a little bit more daring and risk-taking than I am today, as I've gotten older. I used to, I mean, quite literally, guys, I used to put probably 13 miles on the board a day. That's not an exaggeration, by the way. I used to use it to commute to work, everything, which was a great time during the pandemic because there was nobody here. There was literally nobody driving. But now it seems like you have more cars than ever. Once the city does a little bit better job with dedicated bike lanes, then maybe I'll risk it again. We'll see. All right, but this is the main campus of New York University. And if you go down a little bit further, you will run into the Stern School of Business.
Love you guys.
And we always talk about this. If you go to the Stern School of Business, one of the most famous finance professors in the world really is Professor DeModern. And he teaches two courses that are very famous, world-renowned. Number one, he teaches a really good course in securities analysis. And number two, a course in corporate finance. So again, it's Professor DeModern, and he always makes appearances on CNBC, Bloomberg, all of the major financial channels. And his classes fill up almost quite literally automatically. So something really cool that NYU has done now is they have sort of created certificate programs for those courses. So you don't have to get accepted into NYU Stern to be able to take a course in corporate finance and securities analysis by Professor DeModern. You could just go to the New York University website and just take those classes for a certificate.
Is that TikTok?
Say again?
Is that TikTok?
Oh no, it's a YouTube live stream.
Oh, hi.
Hey,
Hi.
have a good night.
You too.
This is Thompson Street and West 3rd Street. This is one of my favorite coffee shops down here, Irving Farm. But in addition, if you don't want to pay to take the course, the professor uploads all of his lectures for free online if you just go to his YouTube channel. So if you go to Professor DeModern, he has over 1,000 videos and he uploads his lectures for free, which I think is a really admirable thing, right? Being that he is one of the most sought after finance professors, and people from all over the world are quite literally beaten down the door to take those courses. So if you want to apply yourself and, you know, kind of be an autodidact, if you will, and be self-taught, you could just sit in front of your computer screen and consume all of his lectures for free. He even gives you PDF downloads of the coursework. Hey, Brad's is off topic a bit, but of interest, Tom. My folks put their house up for sale last Friday and had 3 offers in the market. No way, in Dallas? Well, that's really good news for you guys. Now, were those offers competitive? Would you say like right at asking, over ask? That's really good data to have. This is sort of the main NYU college town here. There's a really cool chess shop. So this place sells boutique chessboards. Anybody here a big chess player? I think I would probably get this one. They have the Queen is Statue of Liberty and the King is the Empire State Building. Very unique. All right, we have some chess players in here. It's good. Jake says, what are your thoughts on Borough Park? Just overall general thoughts? I think Borough Park's okay. What, are you looking to move there or buy something there? Now, I will say this. It's a little bit far away from the city, but maybe you don't work in the city. I'm just assuming you work in the, you know, in Manhattan, maybe in Midtown. I think that'd be a little bit, maybe a little bit of a stretch, perhaps. But it's a beautiful neighborhood, overall really nice. Hey, Limitless NYC is this anytime where you do a stream in the Hamptons, possibly around the summertime. Maybe. Actually, maybe. It depends on if I have a reason to go out there. You know, when I was younger, I used to go out to the Hamptons quite often, but really not anymore. And if I had to make a little bit of a hot take here, I think the Hamptons are a little bit overrated. I don't know. And here's the reason why. We'll let this car go and then we'll cross further down. We're gonna head to Soho. The Hamptons have gotten really like crazy busy, even busier than it's ever been. And for those non-New Yorkers out there, there's only really one way to get to the Hamptons. Well, two ways. If you're ultra wealthy, you can just take a helicopter or a plane out there, but there's literally one road that goes in and out. So during the summer, particularly on the weekends, like a Thursday night and a Friday night headed into the Hamptons, oh my God, the traffic is crazy. It could potentially take you 3.5 hours if you hit like ridiculous traffic to commute from New York City all the way out to the Hamptons on a summer weekend. It's crazy. And there's just so many people there. It's become extremely crowded. So I think some parts of Connecticut may be a little bit better to spend time in the summer. I used to go to Watermill, New York a lot. Watermill is really nice, but you know, that's just gotten so expensive. Elias says, have you ever considered migrating to other platforms? Not really, to be honest. Not really. All right, Houston Street, we are gonna cross. I think we're making good time. I think we're at the hour mark, so we'll be able to just make it to Franklin Place. Beautiful view of the World Trade Center here. Hey, Kimberly says, I made it to Southampton, 6 hours round trip in July. Holy crap. Yeah, I mean, there you go. In July, it's really crowded. And the beaches are crowded too. The beaches are really crowded too. I don't know. If you want to venture out to Long Island during the summer, if you have a friend who is a resident of the town of Oyster Bay, you can, as long as you're in their vehicle and you go with them, you can get into the beaches for free. I would recommend Toe Bay Beach. I really like Toe Bay. Very private. Not too far away from Jones Beach. But I believe you need to be a resident of the town of Oyster Bay, I believe. But look, I also like Jones Beach. A lot of people say they don't like Jones Beach. I love Jones Beach. But if you're all enjoying the live stream so far tonight, feel free to leave a like on the video and click the subscribe button if you're new. We usually do these live streams every day starting at 8:30 p.m. The Ninja says, have you seen any of the protests going on? I have not. I have not seen any of the protests. Dale says, it's interesting how Houston is pronounced. Yeah, well, I don't really know the history of it, but it is pronounced Houston Street. Someone says, I hate Jones Beach, awful crowds. I love it. I grew up going to Jones Beach. Love Jones Beach. If you haven't been in a long time, it's completely different. They've extended the boardwalk, all brand new. There's just so much stuff to do there. I like it. I like it a lot. Hey, Emmanuel, what's up? Good to see you. Soho Joe is here. Says hope all is well. Thank you, Soho Joe. We're about to be in Soho here in a minute. Next to the Chobani store here. Check out this monstrous brick that's right in the bike lane. Let's try to get that out of there before some biker splits his head open. That's no good. All right, Prince Street. If you walk directly down here, you'll run right into the Prince Street Pizza. I don't know, what do you guys think of the neighborhood down here? I like it a lot better than Midtown. It's quiet, very, very quiet. It's a more enjoyable walk, to be honest. Not a lot of foot traffic. After 7 p.m., this neighborhood, very low foot traffic, very quiet. You'll see that as you go down into Soho. But real quick, let's talk about, we do need to cover one thing tonight. The bond market was extremely, extremely volatile today. Like, concerningly so, I should say. We had about a 20 basis point swing in the 10-year US Treasury yield. And this actually coincided with billionaire investor and hedge fund manager Bill Ackman coming out saying that he's closed his short position on bonds. So he is no longer short long-term bonds. He has covered his short position. And pretty much right then, you saw a massive rally in the debt market and yields come down a little bit. But it's concerning because you usually don't see US debt trade that volatile. That's something you would see in, other countries that are a little bit less stable than the United States. So it is cause for concern. We'll wait for the Vespa guy to go. Food delivery Vespa. Hey, Madison32 says, Tom, did you see the movement in Bitcoin today? Yes, I did. You had a major flight to quality. I think at one point intraday, Bitcoin was trading at 35,000, or I think just under 35,000. I believe at the time of doing this live stream, what are we trading at now? 33.9, 33.85, something like that. So you have a big rally in gold, which we're watching. You have a big rally in Bitcoin, which I have maybe a few ideas about why that's happening. You guys know my take on the cryptocurrency world. I only own, I should put it this way. On the cryptocurrency ecosystem, I only own Bitcoin, and I have for quite some time for, reasons I've laid out. But any of the other alternative coins, I totally stay away from. But the value proposition for me, as it relates to Bitcoin, is it's the only asset class in the world that is truly unconfiscatable. Meaning, if you have your private keys, only you have the full autonomous control over that wealth. This is the brand new Serhant office, which is very strategically placed at the on-ramp to the tunnel. Beautiful office. Right here on Broome Street. We actually have a listing just to the right, 554 Broome Street. It's an amazing penthouse apartment. Now, it was actually a horse stable for the FDNY. If you want to see a video tour that I shot of our listing at 554 Broome Street, if you type !Broome BROOME in the chat, the Nightbot will drop the link. It looks like there's some big entourage here, guys. You see this? Going right to the Holland Tunnel. You guys see that? There's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Either Cadillac Escalades or Chevy Suburbans. There's another one here. Huh, wonder who that is. Destructionist is maybe it's Ryan Saran. Maybe it is. But anyway, so that's the value proposition that I see. So to have an allocation, let's say if it's 5% of your net worth in Bitcoin, not for the purpose that you see on the news, right? Where they have all of these talking heads and pundits saying, oh, it's going to go to 1 million, it's going to go to 1 trillion, and everybody just buys it and, you know, trades it and sort of all that nonsense. I really don't see the proposition there. My value proposition is, should something go wrong with the financial system, prime example, well, there's 2 prime examples actually. Number 1, what's going on right now in China? You have high net worth individuals and ultra high net worth individuals stumbling over themselves to get wealth out of the country. They can't do it. They're trying to do it through illegal means, underground banking. It's a mad dash scramble. However, let's say if you were worth $1 billion, you had $200 million in Bitcoin, you could send that to the United States, send it to Singapore, across borders without any permissions, and it would probably cost you $20. If you send it over the Lightning Network, that's actually probably true. I could probably send about $100 million for like $20, maybe less. I don't have to call Jamie Dimon and say, hey, can you clear this wire? Nothing. I make the decision, and it's a 24/7, 365 network that can never be shut down. Example number 2, look what happened with the Silicon Valley Bank collapse. I think in this day and age, after we had about a decade long of a monetary experiment, modern monetary theory, particularly quantitative easing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, infinity, I think it's appropriate, right? For me, I'm not talking for anybody else, I'm only talking for myself. I think it's appropriate to have an allocation to something that is outside of the traditional system. And that's the value proposition. And I think you're starting to see, you know, that movement. Again, you had massive influx into the bond market today, massive bond buying, putting downward pressure on yields. You had big inflows into gold all last week and today as well. And now you have a little bit of a pickup in Bitcoin. So who knows, maybe this is the start of a bigger move, or maybe this is just a classic flight to safety trade, so to speak. Hey, Janice S, what's up? Good to see you. So this is Grand Street. We're almost there. We're making great time. Maybe if we have time, we could double back and look at some of the beautiful cast iron facades here. Hey, Hawaii, good to see you. Says a lot of people have interest in Bitcoin. You know, I built a little, not really an app, it's really just like a plug-in on my computer that tracks sentiment around Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. And right now we are actually at some of the lowest levels of interest revolving around Bitcoin. In terms of a few things is what I pull data from: volume and transaction activity across exchanges, keyword search terms on Twitter and the broader internet. And I also track keywords that involve Bitcoin on the Wall Street Journal, New York Daily News, and the New York Times. And it's been radio silence. And that's actually a really good thing, which is making me more bullish on it. And another thing you're saying, I won't make the whole stream about Bitcoin. But another thing that we're seeing is long-term holders who have been accumulating Bitcoin since, 2013. They're not net sellers of Bitcoin at these prices. They're net buyers, and there's a record amount of Bitcoin that is being removed from traditional exchanges into hardware wallets or cold storage. So you could think about this as smart money versus dumb money, right? So you have an environment where you've had, since all-time highs, you had Bitcoin collapse 70%. Interest has totally diminished, right? Because the majority of people, they're only interested in something when it's going up. When it's going down and when things are going through tough times, everybody bails out and goes to the next shiny object. It's just how humans are. So that's the first thing. And while interest from the public is at all-time lows, you're seeing the composite operator in the market accumulate more and more and more and move it to cold storage. That's a recipe for like a massive liquidity squeeze. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Very seldom do I like talking about Bitcoin on here for the following reason. And we're actually almost there, by the way. We're almost at Franklin Street. So we made phenomenal time tonight. Because the cryptocurrency space, unfortunately, has been fraught with a lot of opportunists and scams. And for whatever reason, a lot of people interpret and they lump together Bitcoin with cryptocurrency. And it is different. It is not the same. But unfortunately, people think, all this nonsense, like the Doge, the dog coins, things like that, this coin, that coin, they think it's all the same with Bitcoin. And unfortunately, that gets people in a lot of trouble, which kind of stinks. But if you guys sort of like this financial talk about all these different topics, conversations, if you scan the QR code on your screen, this Thursday, after the closing bell, so at 4 o'clock this Thursday, I'm going to be sending out my second research piece. So you could look for it anywhere between 4 and probably 7 p.m. And if you scan the QR code, it'll bring you to our most recent article in the Behind the Street newsletter. Just punch in your email and you'll be on the mailing list to receive all of our research for free every other Thursday after the market closes. And expect that this Thursday. I always like to stop and look at this row of buildings here. I think the facades are amazing, and it contrasts very nicely with the Jenga building in the back. Look at that. This is such a unique architectural design here. It quite literally looks like Jenga blocks. Very cool as we make our way into the Tribeca neighborhood. Crypto memes is definitely not, definitely not a maxi. Yeah, I wouldn't consider myself a Bitcoin maximalist, but I think before anything can be done in the altcoin space, the SEC needs to lay out a clear set of rules. And they haven't. And when you don't have proper regulatory oversight, you have fraud. And this kind of reminds me of the financial crisis of 2008 And I'll sort of explain what I mean by that. Now, leading up to 2008, you know, all of these mortgage bankers and brokers, the reason why they got in trouble is because there was tons of fraud and lax regulatory scrutiny and clarity. So there was a lot of people, the underwriting was terrible. There was a lot of people who had very low credit scores, you know, zero income verification, and there was even predatory lending, right? There were a lot of mortgage companies giving out products that they weren't explaining properly to the clients. They were, the terminology I like to use is slamming them. They weren't fully explaining what an adjustable rate mortgage was. They weren't explaining anything about these products, and they were essentially setting up their customers for failure. And after the world falls apart and collapses, and after Main Street and the average middle-class guy and girl loses all their money, then guess who comes to the rescue? Now the regulators come to the rescue, right? Oh, the big bad regulator is going to come and save the day, but everybody already lost all their money. Everybody already went broke. It's happening the same thing here. All of these cryptocurrency scams, soliciting people to buy these coins that are Ponzi schemes, and you're just starting to see now, right as we come up on Franklin Street, the Securities and Exchange Commission start to sue people over these scams and even sue a lot of these celebrities. And it's kind of interesting because we predicted this, actually. If you've been watching this live stream since we started, you know, when we started this stream, this was during the height of the cryptocurrency mania, when, you know, even people like Kim Kardashian were getting paid millions of dollars to promote these coins. And I said right here live, I'm like, this is going to come to such a bad ending. Not only are so many people going to lose their money and get scammed, but the SEC is going to come back and throw down the regulation hammer on this. And some of these people could see jail time. That's just the way it works. So after everybody has lost their money, and after so many people have gotten defrauded from these Ponzi-like schemes, classic example, FTX, now all the regulators are coming out to save the day, when they could have just provided a set of guidelines on the space so people would have know what to avoid. But it's par for the course with American regulation. But anyway, all right, guys, check this out. Look at how gorgeous the facades are here. These are really heavy cast iron facades. We are now on Franklin Street. So my new listing that we just listed this morning is 5 Franklin Place, apartment 8A. So if you want to take a look at it, just type exclamation point and then the number 5 in the chat. So again, exclamation point and then the number 5, and the Nightbot will drop the link to the listing. Now, I said Franklin Place, not Franklin Street. So here we are on Franklin Street, but what a lot of people don't know, if we turn the camera this way, you see this street right here? This is, or I should say, this is Franklin Place. And this is a private street, so there's no through traffic. So if you live in the building or the other building next to it, you can see it says no parking, no trespassing. This is exclusive and private to the building 5 Franklin Place. It's really stunning. It's a 3-bedroom, 3.5 bathroom. It has swimming pool on the roof. I'll sort of take you guys around. You can see a better angle of the building. 3 bedrooms, 3.5 bathrooms, just under 2,000 square feet. And you have the option to purchase your own parking space in the building, which is pretty cool. Not many buildings around here have parking on premise. This, you have literally your own private driveway. You turn right into the building, the doors open, you drive your car in, and then the elevator brings it down to the basement. So in theory, right, if you're a high profile person, maybe you're an athlete or a celebrity or something like that, you never have to essentially walk around the block or leave the building at all, because you can just drive right into your building. It's very, very unique. Hey, TK Porsche, seriously, it does look very attractive. Thank you, I appreciate that. And you know what? We priced this to sell. We really, really did. If you look at all of the comps in the building, we're on the 8th floor. We clear the building line, so you have amazing views. And we're priced almost the same as some of the units on the lower floors. So this is actually a good deal. And you're right off of Canal Street. I'll see if I can give you guys a quick peek at the front of the building. It's very, I would say, high security there, so sometimes they don't, well, I know they definitely don't like cameras and things. And it is quite late at night, so it may look a little sketchy. All right, so here it is, 5 Franklin Place again. You have all these amazing cast iron facades sort of lining your block. Again, you turn here to your private street. Hey, Dominic, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Have a great night. Yeah, and Unit 8A, we just listed it. So you could see it on Street Easy. We listed a 3-bed, 3.5 bath, Unit 8A. And you have a private entrance to the garage. There are about 2 spots left, and I believe spots left for a sedan. And spaces start at $300,000 a space. And I think anything above the 10th floor, you have balconies. So right as you turn in here, you can see where it says the P for park. Once you have the fob, the doors will open automatically. You drive in and you go all the way down to the basement. It's a very peaceful street, very quiet. What do you guys think? I think it's a very interesting, very tucked away. You like wouldn't even know the building is there. Has a pretty cool art piece standing right out front. I'm excited about it. Hey, Theo's here. What's up, Theo? Good to see you. Welcome to Tribeca. Yeah, DC 322 is very hidden from view. Now, the penthouse of the building is owned by one of the most famous New York Rangers. Well, I should say former New York Ranger. I won't say which one, but I think you could read between the lines. So now this is walking uptown. right on Canal Street. Hey, JC is here. What's up, man? I was thinking about you today as Bitcoin was rallying pretty much all throughout the day. I was like, I know JC is probably looking at this. Hey, Umit says, hey bro, you are great. So are you. Thank you for watching. And welcome to New York City's Tribeca. Hawaii is here. What's up? Pam Hopkins is evening, Tom. What's up, Pam? You know, since we're on Canal Street, let's make a right and let's explore Chinatown. Chinatown's one of my favorite neighborhoods in the city. Teresa Diaz, TD, good to see you. But guys, this is our old office. Look at that. We used to start our streams in this window here. Now, I think the WeWork may have closed down. This was 408 Broadway. I'm not sure if it's still there. The building kind of looks like it's blacked out. Maybe it's being sold. I don't know. It was a great building. I really, really enjoyed working at it here. Hey, Bree Grams. Good to see you. Hey, JAC says, what do you think about gold jewelry? I just got into it and I'm 22 and I never want to take my chains off. To be quite honest, I am not a jewelry guy. I really don't know. But go to the Diamond District. Go to New York City's Diamond District and get to know people there. That's what I would do. If you're 22, you seem young, ambitious. If you're interested in the jewelry business, spend some time in the Diamond District, right? Walk around, meet people. It's a really energetic and fun place, particularly during the day. You could see all the trading going on, people buying and selling jewelry and all types of stuff. And who knows, maybe you could open up your own little kiosk there and build a nice business for yourself. Toby Kelly says hello. Now, gold is trading near its all-time record highs yet again. If you look at a monthly time frame of gold, it just looks like a massive cup with handle base. Gold hit its last all-time record high in 2011. And it's been consolidating, pretty much going down to sideways ever since. This is Cortland Alley. This alley is in all the movies because it looks really sketchy. Now, a lot of this graffiti, I've been told, is put on here on purpose. So this has been featured in a lot of films. Hey, the Crazy Vault Mix. Is there a way in the future to the US citizen to trade precious metals? Yeah, you could trade precious metals for sure. There's a way to do that now. You can do that right now. Hey, JAC. Says, when is the best time to buy a house? My fiance heard you say something about September, if I'm not mistaken. I think you may be a little bit mistaken. It really depends on the person, right? It depends on a multitude of things. I don't think I could give a blanket statement. Because in some markets, right, depending on the price point, there's really good deals, right? And it depends on what you're using the property for. Are you looking to buy a duplex or a triplex? and you're looking to make the property cash flow? Are you looking to buy in the Northeast? Are you looking to buy in the South? Are you looking to buy in the West? Or are you looking to buy a single family home? Are you looking to buy an apartment or condo? How much money do you have, right? So it's very, very different advice depending on who it is. In this market particularly, and I'm not sure if you've read the research piece I put out last week, but if you haven't, go check it out. I've sort of explained generally, right, in a general idea, how a market cycle works. And as interest rates have been going up, right, the Federal Reserve has shifted from quantitative easing to quantitative tightening. So debt, or the cost of money, is now getting very expensive. The average 30-year fixed rate mortgage right now is just over 8%, just a tad over 8%. So that means a lot of these deals don't pencil anymore because the debt is so expensive. And that's why the transaction volume is falling off. So if a seller wants to get a deal done in this environment, generally speaking, they need to adjust the price for a higher interest rate environment. And I think you're just starting to see that. So depending on where you are, I don't know where you are in the country, I would always be checking the National Association of Realtors existing home sales and and new home sales report. Looks like we have some construction going on over here. Because essentially that will tell you where transaction volume is picking up, where it's really falling off a cliff, and where prices are coming down across the country. But generally speaking, you know, we are in the transition, in my opinion, from a seller's market to a buyer's market, meaning the buyers have more of the negotiating power here, right? During the pandemic and even in 2021, you know, people were in bidding wars for properties, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars over the asking price, you know, outbidding each other for the property. That is not going on anymore in most places across the United States. So again, if a seller wants to get a deal done, you know, you're going to see prices come down, and you have seen prices come down. Hey, Randy is here. Says, I've been reading a lot about banking jobs leaving New York City for Dallas. Chase, Goldman Sachs, and Wells Fargo. The new towers in Dallas can't be cheap, but maybe cheaper than the existing commercial real estate in New York. Let's get away from some of the construction, but yeah, you're right. And you know what's a crazy statistic that I heard? Jamie Dimon, who is the CEO of JP Morgan Chase, he was sitting down doing an interview with Bloomberg, I think about 2 months ago, and he was sort of criticizing the state and the city of New York. He's like, it's not a healthy business environment in New York City. You know, you equate Wall Street and investment banking with New York City. It's always been like that. But now there are more JP Morgan Chase employees in the state of Texas than there are in New York, and it shouldn't be like that. And I didn't know that. I had no idea until Jamie Dimon said that. This was about 2 months ago. He was being interviewed by Bloomberg, and he says, yeah, we have shifted our operations significantly. So there's more JP Morgan employees working in Texas than there are working in the city of New York and the state of New York, which is crazy. Now, it doesn't mean that there's no employees in New York, right? I mean, Jamie Dimon is building a huge office tower on Park Avenue, 270 Park, which is going to be an amazing project. But you're right, you know, you've had a lot of Wall Street high-paying jobs go to other states like Texas and Florida. Somebody says, and India too, but Jamie won't admit that. No, he will. He will. If you watch that Bloomberg interview. I'm very bullish on India. Very, very bullish India. We've talked about that before. Hey, Christian, says Tom, do you think there's a corporate governance problem with the board of directors at large? Companies approving their own pay? Yeah, for sure. For sure. There's always going to be problems. Let's wait for this motorcycle to go by. I think the majority of the banking jobs are in Dallas and Houston. I don't know. Austin, Texas seems to be a little bit more of a tech town for tech startups and technology, things like that. All right, everybody, we have made it to Chinatown. Look at how beautiful it looks with the paper lanterns here. CD says New York City is expensive for salaries. Hey, Juan Fernandez. Hey, Ryan Beck, what's up? I assume you're gearing up for tech earnings this week. Now, out of all the major tech companies reporting earnings, what would you guys say you're most excited for? I think I'm most excited about Meta because I'm not yet totally bought in on their whole VR, augmented reality, virtual reality play. And they're burning significant amounts of cash, you know, investing all this money into the Quest headset. I don't know. However, I will say this. What convinced me a little bit, did anybody see that recent podcast with Lex Friedman and Mark Zuckerberg? That was probably one of my favorite podcasts as of late. Essentially, they were demoing the full Quest headset, and it was just unbelievable. This is 456 New Shanghai Restaurants, one of my favorite restaurants in all of Chinatown. Obviously, everything is closed now, but during the day, this place comes alive. Juan Fernandez says you're looking forward to Google. I am too. I think all of the major cloud computing players. So Amazon, AWS, we're going to hear from Microsoft's Azure Cloud Platform and Google's Google Cloud. I would say those are the top three. And then you have Oracle. Hey, the usual suspects says, hey everybody, long time no see. Yeah, hopefully you're well. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us here in Chinatown. Took a little bit of a walk through Soho and Tribeca. More of the beautiful paper lanterns here. Mel says, Tom, come visit Dallas. I would love to visit Dallas. I've only ever been to Austin, so I definitely would like that. Hey, JD says, hey Tom, what camera are you using? We're using an iPhone 13 mini. Hey, Dan Zhang says, Tom, any new bubble tea or Chinese restaurants lately? Not anything new. Just revisiting a lot of the ones I always go to. I don't think there's been many new ones opening up. I don't know, do you have any recommendations? Juan Fernandez, is Wall Street creepy at night? No, not really. There's actually a lot of residences there now. There's been a big transition from CRE to residential. So not all of them, but a lot of the buildings you see lined up and down Wall Street, they're condos. So you'll see a lot of people walking their dogs right on Broad Street and Wall Street. Now, Dan, speaking of bubble tea, this place is really good. I'm not sure if you've ever been here. Miss Dew's Tea Shop. This place is good. Lynn Case is Wohop. Wohop's all right. One Wall Street. Someone's talking about One Wall Street. Yeah, so that's a Harry Maclau building. One Wall Street is the largest office to condo conversion in the city's history. And it's a co-partnership. A really, really big family office in Saudi Arabia owns a majority stake in that project. I think there's over 500 units at One Wall Street. And in my view, I mean, the place is unbelievable. I have some videos up on my YouTube channel doing some tours of One Wall Street. It's an amazing, amazing place. But if I had to be very blunt, I think it's a little bit too highly priced. And it's not moving that well. Because, you know, if you think about Harry Maclau, he's an incredible talent. He's the one who put on 432 Park Avenue. He tried to make, well, I'll just say this. One Wall Street has all of the same finishes as the kitchens at 432 Park, right? So it is top of the line, ultra luxury throughout the entire building. But here's the thing. At the upper end of the luxury real estate market, particularly in New York, people are looking for exclusivity. 432 Park Avenue, there's not hundreds of units in the building, right? And people like that. People like the exclusivity feeling. So to have this ultra luxury building with a saltwater swimming pool, with the private restaurant, as a private restaurant, excuse me, in the building, you know, and have 580 units, it's going to be hard to move those and sell it on the exclusive because, you know, there's so many units. It doesn't really have that boutique and bespoke feeling. I think it would move really well at about a 25% discount across the board. I think you would move a lot of those units, but where it's priced right now, it's a little bit too high. You know, our team is actually actively pitching to take over sales there. I don't know if we'll get it. I hope we do. I think we could do really, really well there. I think we could do really, really good on the One Wall Street project. But I'll keep you guys updated on that. All right, let's walk through Doyer Street, just because I love how the street is beautiful here. Look at the beautiful murals. Unfortunately, it's covered up with scaffolding. But as earnings season moves through, we're going to be covering it right here on the channel. But if you miss a live stream, don't worry, I will have all of my market updates posted on the newsletter for free. And again, we send that out every other Thursday after the market closes. And we will also have a featured listing of the week. So at the bottom of the newsletter, after we give all of our analysis on the equity market, fixed income, and an overview on real estate, I'm going to put a listing of the week and give you guys exclusive access to some off-market properties in Manhattan. Some really, really cool stuff. So if you haven't signed up already, it's free. It's a great way to support the channel and stay informed should you miss a stream. All of the top things that are happening on Wall Street will be put in the newsletter every other Thursday. So go ahead and scan the QR code, punch in your email, and you'll be signed up for our Behind the Street Substack. And you could even go back and look at all of the archived articles. So all of my work is there for free. Feel free to take advantage. Hey, Plains and Palm Trees, thank you so much for your very kind $2.79 CAD donation. Appreciate you very much. This is great stream as usual. Tom, cheers from Toronto. Beautiful Canadian city, love Toronto. But right as we come up to the end of the block here and turn right on Mott Street, we will call it for the night. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in to Walks on Wall Street tonight. Hope you had a magnificent start to your week, and we will be live again tomorrow starting at 8:30. So if you enjoyed the stream, feel free to give it a like and click the subscribe button if you're new. We do these streams usually every day starting at 8:30. So thank you for joining, Dale. Appreciate it. Destructionist, have a good day or a good night. Hawaii Craziano, appreciate it. All of our moderators, Lynn K, Unij23, Abdullah, Dominic. There's always a bull market somewhere. You just need to know where to look. And I will see everybody right back here live from New York City tomorrow night. Take care. Oh, I think my off button is jammed again. I feel like this may happen once every like 3 or 4 months, right? Once every 3 or 4 months, we can't seem to end the stream. All right, we'll have to try to turn the phone off. Yeah, Tony, extended cut. You know what? I actually did that on purpose. So all of you who are still sticking around, now you get to see the exclusive behind the scenes. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm trying to end the stream, but we're just having some technical difficulties. All right, guys, take care.